Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. Today is Friday, June 11th, 2021. And we begin with a big change for your geography books and a helpful heads up for your nightly family trivia game. According to National Geographic, which for the past century has been responsible for mapping much of the Earth's surface, there aren't just 4 world oceans, there are 5. Joining the Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, and Arctic is the newcomer, appropriately named Southern Ocean. These icy waters surround Antarctica, have a faster current, and are less salty than the others. This ocean is also home to thousands of species that thrive in its chilly conditions. That uniqueness convinced marine scientists it deserves its own distinct name. The announcement came out earlier this week, fittingly on World Oceans Day. Going forward, the Southern Ocean will be included on all of Nat Geo's new maps. Thank you, but I'd like to pass it on. A Massachusetts high school senior headed to Harvard stunned her classmates last week by turning down a $40,000 scholarship. In an impromptu speech at graduation, Verda Tete said, "I am so grateful for this, but I also know I am not the one who needs it most." With that, she asked that the money go to a student attending community college. The crowd went wild with appreciation, but Verda turned the attention back to her mom, who put herself through community college and is, Verda said, her inspiration. In China, 15 drones and the eyes of the nation are keeping close tabs on a wayward herd of elephants. The group left a southwestern jungle a year ago, perhaps due to deforestation, perhaps due to a leader with no sense of direction. The traveling trunks are headed north, and millions of people are tuning in daily to watch what has turned into a 300-mile journey. No one knows exactly where they're headed, but local authorities are trying to steer them out of populated towns, sometimes with blocked roads and a police escort, other times by strategically laying out cobs of corn, bananas, and pineapples. According to the Wall Street Journal, a TV station even pretended to get an exclusive interview with one elephant apologizing for damaging crops, homes, businesses, and streets. Quote, "I'm not finding excuses, but we are so big. Sometimes we can't avoid stepping on things." Seattle, Washington is number 1, at least in terms of COVID shots. Mayor Jenny Durkan confirmed this week that her city is the first in the nation to fully vaccinate 70% of its residents against the virus. It was a photo finish. San Francisco had been in the lead, but it was the Emerald City that ended up with the bragging rights. Nationwide, the CDC says almost 43% of Americans are now fully protected. Compare that to some other countries like Jamaica, Egypt, and the Ukraine, which haven't even hit 1%. That's why President Biden announced yesterday that the U.S. will buy and then donate 500 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine to more than 90 nations that need some help catching up. The sculpture is called Mount Recyclemore, and the message couldn't be clearer for the world leaders whose faces it bears and are likely to get an eyeful of it today. The Group of 7, better known as the G7, kick off their meetings in Cornwall, England, right across from a personalized, multi-story mountain of electronic waste. Artist Joe Rush created the likeness of all 7 politicians, from wires, monitors, and motors, to highlight the fact that only a fraction of e-waste actually ends up being recycled. The rest just sits in landfills, leaking hazardous materials. Mr. Rush and the charity Waste Aid want to see electronics be easier to repurpose, or at least last longer. His work of art will be hard for the 7 to miss as it faces the resort where they're set to meet. A KidNuz programming note: we will continue to produce fresh new podcasts throughout the summer, but today is the last Friday we'll be taping for the next 2 months. We'll be recharging our batteries with 3-day weekends through August 13th. Now, today's quiz. How many oceans are there, and what is the newest one called? Five, including newcomer, the Southern Ocean. Who are the latest social media stars in China? A wayward group of elephants. Which U.S. city was first to fully vaccinate 70% of its population? Seattle, Washington. What art exhibit is greeting world leaders at the G7 in England? Mount Recyclemore, a multi-story sculpture with their faces made from electronic waste. And one for the road. If confirmed, it will be the first known case of 10 babies born at once. A South African woman thought she was delivering 8 newborns on Monday when out came an extra 2. In all, she had 7 boys and 3 girls to join the 6-year-old twins waiting for her at home. The delivery smashes a record set just last month in Timbuktu. Before we head out for the weekend, it's time to shout out our KidNuz teachers in their classrooms, which we will continue to do through the summer. Hello to Mrs. Ickes, where Room 3 is the spot to be at the Bedford Area School District in Bedford, Pennsylvania. Mrs. Kaluski at Mississippi Heights Elementary in Sauk, Minnesota. Mrs. Prescott and her Prescott peeps at Glenmore Elementary in Fremont, California. Ms. McKnight and her super cool Kenilworth students in Phoenix, Arizona. And Anna Belknap at the Bush School in Seattle, Washington. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to take our Week in Review quiz, and we'll see you back here for more KidNuz Monday morning.